Yeah, let's do this. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Inside the Big Dynasty League. Filmed in front of a live studio audience this week.
Woo!
All right, with me as always is the Statman, Petey Cunningham, and the commish, Clyde Randall Waters. Well, last week when we left you, 2 of the 3 members of this show were in the playoffs. And sadly, we are down to just 1. Let's take a look at last week's matchups. Which one should we start with, Statman?
I say we just go ahead and start with Bourbon Barons and
The JPP
firework incident.
Yeah.
All right, break it down for me, Statman. Analyze my unfortunate loss.
Last week, very rough fantasy week for any team, let alone the Cincinnati Bourbon Barons. Matt Forte, not totally sure what happened. Wasn't really paying attention to the game.
I know he got hurt. I'm honestly not sure what the injury is. I probably should look it up on the owner of the team.
I think the injury is he's just old.
He is old, but
and it's getting late in the season.
I just need a couple more games from you, Matt Forte.
You don't need any game from him now.
No.
I need a couple more from you, man.
Matt Forte goes out and gets 0.8 points, 8 rushing yards before he got hurt. Then you also had 2 members of the Cleveland Browns, and you should have known they would let you down in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Duke Johnson with 5.5 and Corey Coleman with 5.7. Very rough weeks for the Cleveland duo on your team.
I will say, I did make the right calls except for Forte getting hurt. I'm 96.7 efficient. My young team with a couple old guys just wasn't quite there yet.
Yeah.
Or 2 there, one or the other, depending on the player. But congratulations, JPP firework incident. Put up some decent numbers. Still got to figure out what to do in that tight end position. He
started Dwayne Allen this week after last week. Dwayne Allen had the 3 touchdown performance in the final week of the regular season. Ended up not being the best option. I'm not totally sure what Jack Doyle did this week, but definitely tight end
Jack
situation.
Doyle ended up with 10.5.
At 10.5. So which Colts tight end do you go with? Tough decisions there for JPP
I would
Firework.
say neither.
That's what it seems like.
If I was JPP Firework Incident, I would have tried to, gone with somebody kind of young stud. Not too young, though. Somebody with, like, a wild quarterback that's up and coming, throwing to him. I don't know. Maybe like a Zach Ertz.
Ooh.
Maybe.
Ooh.
I don't know.
Harsh.
All right. Anyway, JPP Firework Incident wins this matchup.
And is moving on to the next round. Next up, let's look at the San Francisco 69ers. And ladies and gentlemen, that is a sex joke. Versus Mr. Clutch's fake football team, Statman. What do we got here? Break it down. Give me some numbers. Do some math.
For one of these teams, this was a rough week for the 69ers.
I feel like it was a rough week for both these.
It's a very rough week for both teams. The winning score was 101.
I know. I feel like these teams were just like, for them, was like looking in a mirror. They're just looking at themselves.
Yep.
Trying to see who could win the staring contest with themselves in the mirror.
Yep. And 69ers pulled off quite a few trades this year. They traded to get Carlos Hyde during this year, and he got 27 points for them. So that trade worked out well. They traded for Todd Gurley, who they didn't even start this week. It's playoffs.
They traded for Doug Martin.
And they traded for Doug Martin.
Did.
I wasn't sure about that one. Traded for Doug Martin. He got 16.5. That worked out good. They traded for Des Bryant, who got a 0. But, Commish, this wasn't your normal 0, was it?
No. Not at all.
This was a 0 because he had positive and negative points. Yes. 1 catch for 10 yards and a fumble loss. Comes up to 0.
Yes.
Rough week for him. Larry Fitzgerald, 4.2. Traded for Eifert, though. The Eifert trade did work out, 21.8. And also he gave up a third-round college pick for the Seahawks defense, who got -4. So some of the trades worked out good for him this week. Some of them did not work out so good this week.
Was there anybody he actually drafted on his team that he started? Larry Fitzgerald? And maybe
Amari Cooper and Melvin Gordon. I think that's it for this team.
You know.
But
it was definitely if you look at the efficiency rating, I think that definitely says something about this matchup. He was only 69. The San Francisco 69ers was only 69% efficient.
Nice.
That's all I got out there.
Throw it out there on that.
Just gonna throw it out there. Let it sit. Let's simmer.
Right. Well, let's look at Mr. Clutch. What did he do right? What did he do wrong?
Started Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
Definite positive
that's a good
there.
decision.
26 points for Aaron Rodgers. He traded for Antonio Brown from 69ers. And only got 12.8 points out of him, but, still contributed to the win. Both of his running backs scored in double figures. I know that is the weak point for Mr. Clutch's fake fantasy football team.
Yes.
But they got double-digit points from them, so good week.
Good week.
But, I mean, he is going to need to do something dramatically different if he is going to beat the Scarlet Pimps.
I found it interesting they left Willie Snead, his prized number 3 wide receiver, on the bench. 14.9 points sitting on his bench. He started Cole Beasley and Michael Crabtree over him.
No faith in Willie Snead. He spent like $10 on Willie Snead.
I know.
In the preseason. You would think a $10 player you'd want to start him, but
especially in the playoffs.
Marquette King, with only 4 points as well, just letting it be known Johnny Hecker is the best punter in the NFL.
Yes.
But there's no debate about it. Marquette King can do his dancing. He can ride the cow, ride the whatever. Doesn't really matter. Johnny Hecker's the man. Anyway.
I was looking.
Gotta get some punter talk in this week.
Yeah.
Punters!
I was looking through some of the headlines, and I love this quote I found here in the article from the Niners coach, Ben Wagner. He says, "We beat ourselves." Then the article goes on to say, causing further embarrassment, the San Francisco 69ers could have scored 137.22 points and won had they started their best lineup. But again, like we've already noted, left key players like Todd Gurley on the bench with 17 points.
Former champ. Look, man, I get it. You've been in the playoffs, though. Every year he's been in the league.
Been in the playoffs every year he's been in the league.
We can't hammer him too bad.
He did win a trophy, which is more than all three of us have won combined.
Of course, it wasn't a trophy when he won, but he did get the money.
True. He got the money.
I think that former
is
going to stick around that team for a while, that former champ.
Yep.
How far does a former champ go in fantasy?
I don't know. Is it like the presidency
in the real
where
world, if you win the Super Bowl, you're always a champ. You know what I mean?
I hear you.
So that was some prestige, though. I mean, your name is on the BDL homepage.
As a champion.
As a champion.
It is on.
Everybody sees it.
The BDL trophy. The Dave Lapham Trophy of Excellence.
Well, that trophy is going to last longer than any of us will. So
I certainly hope
It
so.
will.
I hope I die before the trophy. Yes.
That trophy's made of some beautiful walnut. I'll tell you that.
Anyway, tough year for the 69ers. Did a lot of trading this year. ended up just not being able to get to that next level. If Melvin Gordon didn't get hurt, though, there's a completely different narrative around this matchup. Melvin Gordon healthy, plays that whole game. I really think 69ers are advancing.
Yes.
But, it's injuries in the playoffs, just awful. Just awful. So, yeah, hard to be truly upset for if you're the owner, Ben, but it's on to next year. Just got to, take your lumps, learn some lessons from this year and move on.
I will say it's exciting to see that these young rookie franchise owners are making their way through the playoffs.
True.
Like Bryce and Allen both getting wins in their first year in the playoffs, moving into round 2. That's huge in this league.
Well, that shows we made some good decisions on who we let in.
Yes.
And really, Ben made some errors when picking his division. He went with Allen. He went with Bryce, who are still left in the playoffs. 3 of the teams from his division are still left in the playoffs, whereas the Pimps had kind of
we
not as tough of a road to the playoffs.
It's a little easier.
But
it would have helped if teams like the Acid Kickers would have set lineups every week.
True.
But
that's true. So 3 of the teams left from Ben's division. So definitely, I'm sure he's kicking himself over some of the decisions he made there. But every little thing matters in the BDL.
Yeah. All right. Next up, we're going to take a look at the Week 1 matchups from the Toilet Bowl.
Oh yes,
Toilet Bowl.
Ooh, fighting for that number 1 college draft pick.
That's right. Let's take a look at Los Pandas Desnudo versus the FC Acid Kickers. It looks like the FC Acid Kickers might have actually set a lineup this week and tried to win. Statman, maybe not. I don't know.
I don't think so.
All right, well,
I don't
break
think
it down
so.
for me. It has the appearance of attempting.
2-0 players. They started Chris Ivory, who they started last week, who was still out for injury. They still got the same 2 Cleveland and 1 Tennessee player in, who were both on bye 2 weeks ago.
Gotcha. So the only thing that helped them was
week,
the lack of bye weeks.
Yes. Only thing that helped them was the lack of bye weeks.
Well, Los Pandas Desnudo did get the win. It would have been very embarrassing to lose to a team that didn't set a lineup. So I'm very proud of you, sir.
No, they got 21 from their tight end, 21 from that Cowboys defense. James Winston with not a very good week, only 7 points.
Only 7 points. That was disheartening. But Jeremy Hill, 23 points.
Big week against the Cleveland Browns.
Real quick, I'm not a mathematician. I think I've said that before on this show. And I think I've proven it many a times with my inability to count. But, is it just me? Or did the Pandas produce a score that would have beaten everyone in the playoff bracket that played this week?
That's a great point, Mike. That's a great point.
As a matter of fact, including the people in the playoffs on bye, which I know they didn't set lineups, the Pandas, whose team just came together towards the end of the season out of nowhere, would have beaten every playoff team with this score this week.
Oh, snap!
Good job, buddy.
Yeah!
I mean, it doesn't mean anything because you're not in the playoffs, but...
No, it does mean something. He's advancing in the toilet bowl for that shot at that number 1 college pick. It does mean something.
It does.
This means that some of my talent might finally become the talent I thought it was going to become.
Yep.
Exactly.
Good omens for next year.
That's all I got. You guys have more?
I was worried going against the Acid Kickers, mainly because I did have the feeling that they didn't put effort in their lineup, and their team was still pretty formidable. But it's kind of disheartening when you go up against an opponent that you don't think actually put any effort into it.
Hey, you won.
You won. It's all that matters. Take the win and move on.
Let's take a look here.
Moving on.
Next up, we got the EBDB versus the Unseen Academicals. Stabby, you want to break this one down?
We don't need to spend much time on this one. Unseen Academicals with the 7-point win. Had Tom Brady, 31 points. T.Y. Hilton with 26. And had Moncrief, who I believe got hurt during the game. Had 4 targets, 0 points. But you know what? Behind T.Y. and Tom Brady, it was enough to get the win over EBDBB&B, who only got 2.6 from Roethlisberger, 3.1 from Booker, 7.3 from Ware. Just rough week. They did get 29 from that Falcons defense, but not enough to get the win.
So, I don't want to sound like a broken record, but I'm not a mathematician. I think I've said that before on this show. But is it just me, or did the Unseen Academicals also outscore everyone that is in the playoffs right now?
Except me? Or they outscore me?
Except you.
Ah.
Everyone that's in the playoffs.
Oh, the playoffs.
Again, you beat the people in the playoffs score-wise, but you're still in the toilet bowl. You didn't do good enough early enough.
I was confused there.
Yes, Unseen Academicals beat all 4 BDL champion playoff contenders.
Yeah.
With their score as well.
EBDBB, though, you would have lost.
In fact, all 4 of the toilet bowl contestants would have beaten 3 of the playoff contenders in the big show. Only JPP Firework Incident would have beaten any team, and they would have only beaten the Acid Kickers and EBDBB. So,
right.
Toilet Bowl, you can just see it. You know, this is the second or third year we've done the Toilet Bowl where there's a prize on the line. These teams are stepping up. They know what's at stake here. They know how this can impact their team, and these teams are performing. You can see it. You can just see it.
You can also see that it was definitely an interesting week for fantasy, apparently, because the teams that normally don't score any points scored a lot of points.
Yep. Upside down week in fantasy football this week. Mm-hmm. And it was the first week of the playoffs for most leagues. So chaos abound.
Chaos abound, indeed.
I just thought it interesting for EBDBB to start Ben Roethlisberger over Matt Ryan. So we're in a totally different story. Totally different conversation if Matt Ryan was started.
Matt Ryan, and they were playing who were they playing? The Rams?
Yeah, one of the worst teams in the NFL.
I don't. And Roethlisberger was playing in like a blizzard. Or not a blizzard, but it was windy, it was cold.
Roethlisberger was playing away in Buffalo with bad weather.
I don't understand that decision.
It's not like Matt Ryan's one of the top-rated quarterbacks right now. Oh, wait.
I mean, I think there is possibly that situation where Julio was out, Sanu was out, so it's kind of like, what's Matt Ryan going to do?
Julio was out. Was he getting the stretch? Or was he down by the schoolyard?
Apparently, he sprained a toe.
No. The dreaded turf toe.
No, it's not even turf toe.
Oh, was not even turf toe, just a sprained toe?
It's a sprained toe.
Take some ibuprofen to get the hell out there.
You better be playing this week.
Well, he sat out of practice today, so we'll see what happens. 'Cause I might need you this week in other playoff games I'm in.
All right. Well, that was last week's games. Let's get going here to this week's games. Woo. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, it's really hard to have a matchup of the week this week. We got 2 really good matchups. We got the grudge match of the century. The JPP Firework Incident versus Wayne Enterprises. 1-1 in the regular season.
It's the rubber match.
It's the rubber match. It's for a chance to go into the championship. And then Mr. Clutch's fake football team. The Bill Belichick to the Scarlet Pimps, Tom Brady. The current champ owes their championship in part to Mr. Clutch's fake football team, and now they are playing each other. The drama is crazy.
I'm telling you, I've said all season long, the NFL cannot script it better than we can.
That's right. Oh my goodness.
So much suspense in the big Dynasty.
I'm tempted to call the matchup of the week this week the Pimps versus Mr. Clutch's fake football team.
Oh, snap.
I'm doing it. That's the matchup of the week.
Mama matchup of the week.
All right, let's break it down, and then I want your pick, baby.
All right. Pimps have Derek Carr. Rough week last week on Thursday Night Football, but he gets a little extra rest before this week's game. They got Julio Jones, who might play. We don't know.
Could be down by the schoolyard.
Could be. They got DeAndre Hopkins, who's been rough this year. They got Devonta Freeman, who only scored 3.8 points last week. But they're playing the San Francisco 49ers at home. Not to be confused.
The actual football team.
The football team, 49ers. Atlanta has the 49ers at home. And the 49ers defense is just atrocious. So, seems like this could be a week where Devonta Freeman goes off. Meanwhile, you got Mr. Clutch's fake football team with rough running back situation. Jarrett McKinnon and James White starting. Got Aaron Rodgers at Chicago. Heard it's supposed to be a rough weather game there, but weather doesn't seem to matter to Aaron Rodgers. The dude just throws touchdowns. He gets it done. He's got Cole Beasley, got Antonio Brown, Crabtree and Wallace. Whew. This is a great matchup here. See a lot of similarities in these two teams. as both for the majority of the season has only started 2 running backs. The Pimps have Devonta Freeman, thanks to Mr. Clutch. And David's just had turnstile for that second running back spot. Meanwhile, Mr. Clutch's fake football team has just basically been limited on running back. So, see a lot of similarities in these 2 teams. Tough to pick a winner in this one. Tough to pick a winner. I'm going with...
So, real quick, before you give your pick,
Ooh.
I just want you to know we just got a comment from Bryce, team coach of the Mr. Clutch's fake football team. And he says, and I quote, "We have to stay hungry."
Really? That's what he said?
That's what he said.
Oh, because the comment I got said, "We have to play with our ears pinned back."
Well, I mean...
He told me...
He says a lot.
He told me that Aaron Rodgers is the key to the game. That's what he told me.
Man, the Pimps told me now. We just got some more comments in from the Pimps. We have to come out of the locker room fired up. That is what Sarah Cunningham has said.
It's like the biggest cliche of all time.
Are you getting this from a fake news source?
No, sir. These are comments that are
Is it
flying
fake
in.
news?
They're flying in on the machine here. The machine.
Look, I got my source here from a Russia hack, and it said that little Pete, Sarah Cummings, right?
Yeah, she needs to fix her name in the system. It still says Cunningham here.
No. She said we need to step up to the next level.
Well, maybe she said
they're on
both.
this level, but she wants to step up to this level.
And then she wants to make sure they stay fired up there.
Ah.
Anyways, Statman, who you taking?
Scarlet Pimps get the win in this one. Tom Brady beats Bill Belichick.
Bum, 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 bum.
I think Freeman has a big day. Carr doesn't suck it up again. Her tight ends are doing really well. I like the Pimps to get the win.
Commish.
Well, this is also a rubber match. Clutch beat the Pimps in Week 4. However, Mr. Clutch's team is 1-4 all time against the Pimps.
It's not bode well.
But, like you said, there's a lot of similarities in this team, in these 2 teams. And I like to think it's because it's all from the same architect. I'm giving the edge to Mr. Clutch's fake football team.
Oh, I'm going with Mr. Clutch's fake football team. I think he kept some playbook information on the side after he built that team for her last year, and she won because of it.
Now, hold on. Did he keep it, or did he buy it off of the Scarlet Pimps radio announcer? Who's been
No. He just kind of memorized it. It's up there.
Oh, okay.
I'm going Mr. Clutch's fake football team. Next up, let's look at the grudge match of the century, ladies and gentlemen. 1-1 against each other this season. They live near each other in the same city, if you believe it. They went to the same high school, albeit many years apart. They both went to a college in Ohio. They both like fantasy football. They both like Skyline. Except the one doesn't eat the chili. He just goes there and gets hot dogs with cheese. It's fucking weird. Pardon my language. But
That escalated quickly.
JPP firework incident owned by the new member of the league, Alan Hennel, or Henley, or Heinley, however you want to pronounce it. It's only up to you. Versus Wayne Enterprises, owned by the very own Statman, Petey Cunningham.
Not Batman, the
Statman, who has been trying desperately for years to get this trophy. I'm going to go to the commish first. We're going to save the Statman for last. Commish, I want to know who you think's going to win, and I want you to bear in mind that I just heard from Alan Hennel that he said the JPP firework incident, they need to stay hungry. He got his advice from Bryce.
That's not what I heard.
What did you hear?
He said bad calls, even out over the course of the season.
There you go. With that being said, what do you think of this matchup?
So, you look at this here. Let's take this into account. Wayne Enterprises has yet to have a receiving or a passing touchdown against JPP Fireworks this season. None of the Wayne Enterprise quarterbacks have been able to throw a touchdown against this team. It's the playoffs. That can't happen. You're going to have a quarterback that can throw touchdowns.
Look, and that was brought to the stat man, Petey Cunningham, owner of Wayne Enterprises, and this was what the comment he said was, you take what the defense gives you. And I said, that doesn't really answer my question at all, but he just kept going with it.
He told me, he said, we have to keep the continuity.
Well, there you go. He's got to be consistently taking what the defense gives him.
Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense.
What I really said was we have to suck it up. That's what I really said.
Suck it up.
Take our punches, get the win.
So we'll see here. We got the quarterback matchup. It's going down like this. Drew Brees against Andrew Luck. Both of them have had seasons that have been a bit rocky this year, that can be explosive at the same time, have just been scary. Which one will show up? The explosive Luck or Breeze, or the scary ones?
That's what I'm asking you. Who you taking?
Well, then you look down and you take a look. Let's look at that running back core for both teams. JPP firework incident. Jay Jai coming out strong this season. Up and coming guy in the league. LeGarrette Blount. The constant pot smoking stout running back for the Patriots. And DeMarco Murray. The old man who washed out in Philly and was reborn in Tennessee.
He's not the first one to be reborn in Tennessee after getting washed out of Philly. Trust me on that one.
Going up against, though, the hot, young stud. Bringing back running back games of old and Ezekiel Elliott. Throwing a mix of that old running back flair and LaShawn McCoy, who's still shady, throwing shade everywhere in Buffalo. And Thomas Rawls, who's having a resurgence after that early injury this season.
Don't forget about one Le'Veon Bell.
I was getting there. Le'Veon Bell, who last week put out 51 points, almost 300 rushing yards, 3 TDs. Whoo! Man, it's like a tank right there.
Who you taking?
Well, from there you dive into the receiving core.
Okay, let's dive into that next.
Let's see. Wayne Enterprises. Mike Evans. Taylor Gabriel. Right? Taylor Gabriel. Who was that guy? No one knew about him until all the Falcons receivers started getting hurt. This week, he was supposed to be the number 1 pickup for this past week. Statman here, he picked him the week before that. Because he's ahead of the game.
Real quick,
I couldn't let JPP Firework Incident have them. They get all of the best free agent players.
I just got another comment here from the coach of the JPP Firework Incident, and he says, look, we don't play these games on paper.
We don't. We play them digitally.
Just letting you know, these are the comments we're getting. They're coming in.
All right, let's skip the shenanigans here. Let's get to the point. I don't see JPP Firework Incident pulling this out. Their team has just shown a lot of holes late in the season. They got nothing going for them at tight end. And there's some gaps in the wide receiver running backs that can sometimes leave big holes. Wayne Enterprises, assuming the NFL week is back to normal, unlike this last week, I think pulls off the win. I'm going Wayne Enterprises.
I'm taking Wayne Enterprises as well, and I'm taking it because I just got this comment from the Statman Petey Cunningham. We're going to have to fight for every yard this week. Because of that, and that alone, I am going with Wayne Enterprises. Let's go to the Statman. Who you taking, sir, and why?
You know, there's a saying that some people say out there that you have to lose before you can win. Wayne Enterprises.
There's a saying that people say.
Somebody say.
Wayne Enterprises. 2 times in the playoffs.
I want to look this up.
All right.
Wayne Enterprises 2 times in the playoffs. Either time got that trophy. The first time, they lost in their very first game.
Did you mean this quote? You can't win unless you learn how to lose?
No, that's not the quote.
Okay, that was Kareem
That's not the quote.
Somebody said that, though.
No. Was that one right there? See?
Oh, you have to lose before you can win. Quoted by Trade the number 2 win.
That's right. Somebody said it out there. I knew somebody said it. I couldn't remember who, though.
Trade win.
But Wayne Enterprises, 1-2 all time in the playoffs. 0 championships won. They were in the Toilet Bowl last year. Didn't even win that either. This is Wayne Enterprises. This is the veteran team. JPP fireworks incident. Yeah, they got the win last week. But I feel like they got to lose this week in order to win in future years. I'm going with Wayne Enterprises.
That's a sweep
to get the win.
All right. Next up, we're going to quickly go through the toilet bowl matchups. First up, we're taking a look at Los Pandas Desnudo versus Hernandez Pistol Offense. And I want you guys to keep in mind that the owner of the Pandas said this to me earlier. We have to find a way to contain him. But they didn't explain who they were talking about. And Hernandez Pistol Offense said, we got ourselves an intriguing matchup. With that, who do you think's going to win, Statman? Break it down for me.
Los Pandas Desnudos had a great week last week. Much tougher matchups for them this week, though. They got Julian Edelman up against the Broncos defense. Jeremy Hill up against that Steelers defense.
Jameis Winston against the Cowboys defense.
Winston against Cowboys defense, who they're a little suspect in the passing game. But tough matchups here for Los Pandas Desnudos. Hernandez Pistol Offense has got Cam Newton starting as of right now. Don't know if they're going to make the switch to Dak Prescott. They got Jordan Howard, who's been a beast mode, and I've seen some analytics have him as good as Ezekiel Elliott this year. And they got Doug Baldwin. They got Jordy Nelson against Chicago. He had a tough matchup against Chicago earlier this year. But 2 good tight ends in Fedorowicz for Houston and Graham for Seattle. Los Pandas Desnudos, the head coach, Clyde Waters, told me that this is a game for the ages.
Actually, I said it's going to be a war out there.
All right, Statman. With all that said,
I trust my news.
who you taking?
Hernandez Pistol Offense said they need to stick to the fundamentals here. I'm going with Hernandez's Pistol Offense. I think there's a reason they had to buy. I think they've just got too much in the talent edge this week. Don't really like some of Panda's matchups. Going with Hernandez's Pistol Offense to get the win.
I'm going Los Pandas Desnudo. Their team's been on fire, and I think they're going to keep it up.
Well, I'm going to say this. Hernandez Pistol Offense coach is quoted saying, it's going to be a battle of the Titans. That tells me he's scared. Even though, all time, I've never beat him in this league. Ever.
You're due.
So I'm due. And it's going to happen in the toilet bowl. I'm taking myself.
All right.
Oh, snap.
Next up, we're going to take a look at Get Off Me! Get Off Me! Versus the Unseen Academicals. Statman, I want you to break this down. I want you to keep in mind, though, that the Unseen Academicals head coach, Sam Westmoreland, said, we have to keep the continuity.
Someone else already said that.
He said it, too.
I am saying we have to stretch our defense.
Look, Get Off Me told me we have to leave everything on the field.
And then he said we have to come out of the locker room fired up.
All right, I'm taking Get Off Me. I believe in you, Joel. I think you threw your games to get into this for a reason, and you're going to actually put forth some good effort and win this one. Statman, what do you think?
I think Get Off Me's been planning for the toilet bowl all year, and I think that all their preparation is going to get them the win right here.
Commish.
Yeah, for some reason I really think Get Off Me desired to be in this spot. I feel like since week 3, this is all he's worked for. This spot right here. To be top of the dung pile. Well, let's see if he can prove it this week, because I'm getting behind him.
I mean, I think it's sink or swim now.
It is sink or swim. I think you're right.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, have fun out there. Remember, sometimes somebody says things, and you quote it, and you don't know who said it.
Yeah, validate your news sources, people. You can trust us here, though, on Inside the BDL. We're legit.
We wouldn't make up quotes from random people that generate off a website at random.
No.
We're not those types of people.
Our quotes don't change when we hit refresh on a page.
No. Have a great night, guys. Bye.
Good luck this week.